Up next, we do have Coach Major Applewhite from Houston. Houston is 5-1 overall, 2-0 in the American Athletic Conference. The Cougars were in action at ECU last Saturday. Houston won the game 42-20. Houston will head to Annapolis, Maryland this Saturday to face Navy, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central on CBS Sports Network. And again, as we mentioned at the top of the call, Ed Oliver from Houston is the Americans' Defensive Player of the Week. Coach, thank you for joining us. If you would take a minute to tie up the game at ECU on Saturday, and we expect to see as you head back on the road to Annapolis to get into the West Division play against Navy, please.
Yeah, just pleased to get away with a win. Very, tough to go on the road, especially at night for a conference game. Difficult opponent. They played very well, played very tough starting out. Didn't always play as well as we wanted to at times, but our defense did an outstanding job taking the ball away 4 times, scoring on the defensive side of the ball, creating pressure on the quarterback, and just proud to get home away with the win and get back and focus on Navy now.
Let's take questions for Coach Major Applewhite, please. *1 on your telephone keypad will put you in the queue, and then the operator will introduce you.
Our first question is from Bob Holt with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Please go ahead.
Okay. Hey, Coach. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, Tulsa's coming over here to play Arkansas this week, and I was watching your game with Tulsa a while back, and they didn't look like a 1-5 team. I know you guys had to come back. What did you think of Tulsa when you played them, and kind of what's going on with their team, do you think?
Very well coached football team. Their defense is very difficult to get prepared for. They do a lot of great things. They play with great effort. Offensively, they have great backs, great skill players, and their record is very misleading. We went into the same situation in 2017, and going into 18 against them, we didn't pay any attention to the loss against Arkansas State or Texas. We knew we were playing a really good football team, and so you have to be prepared, and that's a very well coached football team.
Yeah, you mentioned their record there is misleading. I mean, do you feel like they're maybe right there on the edge of getting some wins, and maybe they could have had a couple more wins already?
I do. Competing against Coach Montgomery, whether it had been when I was an assistant, he was assistant at Baylor, or as a head coach or a coordinator when he's a head coach, just very well coached teams. You just look at all the games, very competitive, and you can see this team plays a great fight. They're just, it's hard to win. There's a fine line. It's just very difficult, and this game will humble you quickly, and it's just one of those deals I really don't even feel comfortable commenting on other people's teams, but I do know that they're very well coached. They play with great effort, and they do a lot of things that present problems on offense and defense schematically.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Bill Wagner with the Baltimore Sun Media Group. Please go ahead.
Well, Coach, obviously Navy's had some struggles, and they've kind of, not quite been the same with their option. Usually by this time of the season, it's really clicking, and they're running with great precision. They've just kind of had some starts and stumbles. Their own offensive coordinator said they've been inconsistent. Do you still have the same concerns you always do, or do you look at it and go, wow, I'm so happy to see that they're struggling right now?
No, just know what they're capable of. I don't spend a whole lot of time worrying about previous years or previous games. We focus on our opponent this week, and it's all about how we play and how they play at 3:00. And you always get ready for somebody's best, and they're a very good football team that plays with tremendous effort, sound in all 3 phases. Have playmakers that can create issues for you on offense or defense if you don't have your schemes, your personnel's matched up the right way. So, it's about practicing and playing to a standard as we prepare for the game Saturday, but we're not going to pay any attention to the tape that we see and what we've got to get prepared to do.
And obviously they've played a lot of quarterbacks. They've had 2 different starting quarterbacks over the course of the season. Any thoughts as to where, how you prepare for that? And obviously Malcolm Perry's going to be somewhere, and he's kind of been their most dynamic guy, but you don't know if it's going to be quarterback or slot. Just talk about your preparation during the week in regard to that.
Right. It's really, it's kind of, it's the more I'm doing this, the more I realize every week this is kind of a discussion. It was a discussion last week going into East Carolina in terms of their multiple quarterbacks. It was a discussion going into Tulsa, who are they going to play? And I think as you get to the middle and the end of seasons, There's things that happen to quarterbacks, and you got to be prepared for anybody that play a quarterback. And there's certain things that offenses will do with certain guys. So defensively, we have to prepare certain packages, whether it be AB, whether it be Lewis, whether it be Perry, whoever it may be. We have to be prepared. If they decide to snap it to one of their great fullbacks, I mean, we've got to be prepared for all those things. And we know that all those guys can operate in their system and have and done so successfully. So we've got to have a great plan for all three.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Tom Shanahan with the Raleigh News and Observer. Please go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Talking about the East Carolina game, pass protection has been a problem for them. Going forward, they don't have to. First of all, they don't have to play Ed Oliver anymore. But second of all, with some of the possessions they had later in the game, second quarter, what ended in field goals, did you see any improvement in their pass protection? And also compared to the tape you watched preparing for the game?
The East Carolina game you're speaking of?
Yeah, correct.
I'm really, honestly, I'm more or less focused on our guys. I don't comment on other teams or other players. I was happy to see our guys create some pressure, and we've been working really hard on that. As a defense, and Mark D'Onofrio, our defensive coordinator, and our defensive staff have been working really, really hard. And that's what they should do. But that's what we all have been doing. But proud to see some of those things come to fruition and see us create pressure on the quarterback. And now it's now get a completely shift focus to a totally different animal this week.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
And any final questions for Coach Major Applewhite from Houston, please? Star 1 on your telephone keypad, if so. Well, Coach, appreciate you giving us a few minutes this morning. Look forward to talking to you again next Monday. All right.